Welcome back to the Sports Source, the segment of our program brought to you by Calhoun's. Next Saturday, the Kentucky Wildcats visit Thompson Bowling Arena, and I've seen UT teams worse than this one, upset Kentucky teams better than this one. So don't let that place be all blue next week. Head to the game and head to Calhoun's before and after. You can also get Calhoun's at Thompson Bowling Arena. Head out there next Saturday and support the Vols against Kentucky, and then enjoy the taste of Tennessee, Calhoun's. All right. I want to welcome in the taste of the Sports Source, which I don't know what that sounds. That sounds kind of funky. Chuck Cavaleris down there, not known for his taste at all. Chuck, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to bring in endorsement. Hey, don't forget, happy 02/02/2020.
Okay.
I mean, that's the first time that's happened in 900 years. 02/02/2020.
There you go. 02/02/2020. Very good. And on that note, let's take a look at some information here on this Tennessee team. There's their NCAA dance card. I'll let you read through that. There were folks in the fan base, certainly some folks in the media, who said before the season, well, Josiah Jordan-James going to be a one and done. He's going to lead Tennessee to 20 wins. They're going to get the NCAA bid. On this show, we spent a lot of time talking about bubble team at best. And we spent all summer from April on talking about this is the worst possible year for Rick Barnes to get this raise because the schedule, who he's losing. Turns out we were right. And if you peruse social media, there are plenty of folks right now wishing Bruce Pearl was here, wondering if Rob Lanier was really the coach behind the coach. Just generally ripping Rick Barnes, like this tweet that I got yesterday that I just lost. Hang on a second. That's not good on television. You can come back to me as I find this. There we go. Why don't you talk on your show about how overrated Rick Barnes is, how he is a March loser, and the fact only 6 times out of 24 NCAA tournament appearances his teams have made it out of the first weekend. 11 of those were first-round losses. Rage, anger, hate, exclamation marks. My question for you guys, how much blame you're the head coach, how much blame does Rick Barnes get for having a rebuilding year this year?
Well, let me say this about that. Is Rob Lanier really the success? I think Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams and Jordan Bone might have had something to do with last year's success.
I've actually seen that one too. People have thrown it out there, and I love social media, but people have thrown it out. Isn't it clear that he really wasn't that good a coach? He just had great players that made him look like a good coach.
Well, somebody helped turn those players into great players.
3-star players.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
none of those guys are 5 stars.
Go back 1 year ago today, and Tennessee is celebrating a 16th straight game winning streak, which is a school record. I mean, it just doesn't change. Fans are going to blame somebody. And the team that couldn't lose at home now, they struggle to even win at home. But no, I mean, he's won over 700 games. He's a Hall of Fame coach.
But here's the thing. I mean, you can make the claim. It's not even a claim. You can point out there were a couple of recruiting classes that didn't hit. You do have a lack of inside presence that we worried about going into the season that has shown up a little bit. Plavsic is now developing, but the problem is, and people think that Tennessee can never have a step back. When you make $4.5 million or whatever he's making, you can't have a step back here, and that's just not true with Tennessee.
Well, I don't blame him much at all because, well, first off, at the time, he didn't know that he was going to be losing Grant Williams and Jordan Bone a few years ago, right? So they went out early, so that hurts. But if you looked at the makeup, maybe there were some expectations that were unreal. Before the year, I thought Tennessee would be a borderline NCAA tournament team and win 18 games. That's what I had projected. That was regular season, not counting SEC tournament or anything else. But here's the deal to me. If we're sitting here next year and they're 12-9 and we're having this conversation, you can put a whole lot of blame on Rick Barnes. That's the way I look at it.
I think a lot of
You've
things
been
about this topic. So, paid a lot of money, and if you're paid that money to deliver a product, and if you don't meet expectations, your head is on the platter, so to speak. It's your fault. You deserve some criticism. Now, as long as that comparison of are you meeting expectations is equal to what expectations should be, right? If the expectations were they're a borderline NCAA tournament team up until this week, no issue. Yeah, they lost a couple games this week that they should not. One game in particular, Texas A&M, that they should not have lost. Mississippi State, I would argue that's one that I can see them losing.
We said that last Sunday.
Yeah, but yes, he deserves some blame. He's the head coach. You deserve it. You're paid that money because you are in charge of creating a team, an organization, a business to be productive. And they're not winning to the level that some people would think that they should be. Now, you look at about the players piece of it. It's all players. I mean, it's 90% players. If you have good players, I don't care what coach you are. If you've got really good players, it makes a much better coach. But this is where people don't like me around Tennessee, saying that I don't think Calipari's or the Sabans sometimes get the credit that they actually do deserve. Because I've been in locker rooms where don't have very good talent. Sometimes it's easier to coach not very good talent as opposed to coaching really good talent. Barnes has coached really good talent and kept them together, and they've got a great recruiting class in. He's doing a heck of a job in a lot of different areas. This week put them where he should be getting some blame because they didn't win a game that they should have.
If there's any blame, I would put it on recruiting. You look at they're getting killed inside. Was there somebody better than Zach Kent? Was there somebody better than Derek Walker who transferred out? Was there, a big 6'9" athlete that they could have got inside? Maybe
DJ Burns, another one.
Yeah, maybe that. So that if there's any blame, that's where I would put it, but not on coaching this team.
There was a lot of complaining, Chuck, about recruiting since he arrived. There were people like, he's not even trying. He's, retirement home Rick. He's in his rocking chair, all that stuff. He coached over it. He developed players to where they never paid the price. This year, it seems, okay, now you're paying a little bit of a price for those couple of recruiting classes that didn't pan out. But you would assume next year this group should be better because most of his guys improve year to year. And then you add in the first really holy smokes recruiting class that he's gotten, I think he'll be back to what people expect out of this program.
Right, but I mean, I look at it and you're basically trying to compete with a junior varsity squad. And you're going against teams that you have beaten the past few years as a rule. And I would also say that, to me, the valid criticism is Rick Barnes is a very demanding coach, and he has a very set system of how he wants to play. Inside out on offense, man-to-man defense. You do not have man-to-man defenders up and down this lineup like we talked about. That, to me, is I think you're looking at that, and that's what's not really working.
Quickly, Mark.
But the junior varsity squad piece of it is, even with what we've had, you should still be, and what Tennessee, all that they've poured into it, they've missed out on recruiting, they should still not be second worst in the SEC right now. They're a better team than being second in the SEC right now.
Especially if Vanderbilt is the worst.
All right, very good. I'll tell you what, we got a lot more to cover today, so we're going to have to cut this one short and move on. Next, signing day coming up for football on Wednesday. Tennessee's top 5 targets remaining on the board. Josh Ward, Ryan Callahan will break those down for you and tell you if they're going to wind up here in Knoxville. Come on back on the Sports Source.